This is my review of the Byrds album live at the Royal Albert Hall 1971. It was recorded May 13th, 1971 and released in 2008. So this album, I used to see this on like Amazon a lot, and I never got around to buying it until like a couple years ago. I was like, well, I never bought that, so I want to buy it. And by that time, like I could only find used copies on eBay. So I kind of regret not buying this album sooner because I really enjoy it. I listen to it quite a bit. It's one of my kind of driving around albums, so I don't like listen to it all the way through a lot. I kind of just like skip around to the songs I want to hear. But it's one that I listen to pretty frequently, probably the most of all the live albums. Although I've probably listened to the live parts of Untitled more just because I've had that longer. Yeah, it's a pretty long live album. This is the same lineup that did the Untitled live part. Plus, I think they have Jimmy Sider, their like road manager, doing some percussion. So yeah, it's a pretty cool album. The band's playing really good, I think. You can hear everything pretty well, at least I think so. Everybody I think plays really good on it. You hear a lot of like the bass is pretty loud in the mix, so you hear a lot of the skip baton bass. Clarence plays like amazing on this album. It's really kind of worth getting just to hear a lot of Clarence's playing. As far as the tracks on it go, the album starts with Lover of the Bayou, good version. Then there's You Ain't Going Nowhere, Truck Stop Girl, which it's cool to hear this one live. It's not like Clarence's best live vocal, I don't feel like, but not bad. I'm glad they did it. And the and instrumental part of it's really cool. Then they do My Back Pages, which I really like this lineups version of that song with Clarence's leads and stuff that he's doing. Baby, What You Want Me to Do. Then Jamaica Say You Will, which this one I think Clarence sounds a little bit better on this one and on the next one he sings than he did on the first track. But like I always say, I really like his voice, especially in the studio. But just in the first track live, it's kind of like I don't know. It's almost like you can't hear him that well on some of it. Seventh track is Black Mountain Rag / Soldier's Joy. Really cool to hear Clarence do the crazy acoustic playing. So that one's really cool. Then they do Mr. Tambourine Man, kind of an acoustic version of it, so different than what you're kind of normally used to. But I like this version a lot. It's kind of weird because this album, it doesn't have Turn, Turn, Turn on it. They do this kind of acoustic version of Tambourine Man, and then 8 Miles High they do the really long jammy version, so it's like none of their hits on here do they do in the normal way, which is kind of cool. The 8th track is Pretty Boy Floyd. You get some Gene Parsons banjo, and McGuinn kind of forgets the lyrics at the end of the song, which is funny. Then they do Take a Whiff on Me, which I think Clarence sounds really good on this one. Then Chestnut Mare, Jesus Is Just Alright, the really long jammy version of 8 Miles High. I think I kind of like the one on Untitled better. Still not a huge fan of them turning this song into a huge jam. And it really just comes down to if they had sung the rest of the song, I'd be fine with it. But they only sing one part, so it's but it's kind of just, it's they tease you. They just sing one part of the song after jamming for 10 minutes. Just sing the whole song. You can jam as long as you want, if you just sing the whole song, it'd be fine. But then the 14th, then I think they kind of end the concert and come back on and do an encore. It seems like they do 2 encores in this show. And they open that with So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. Really good version, some cool guitar from Clarence. Mr. Spaceman, which I'm kind of bored of that song, but it's sort of saved by Clarence's guitar on here. Then I Trust, which is really cool to get a live version of that, and I think it sounds really good. It's cool hearing it without all the extra stuff on Bird Maniacs, even though I like that production. It is cool to hear what it sounds like with just them playing, the guitars and drums and bass. then they do. Seems like they kind of like leave the stage again and come back on for another encore, and they also kind of like. It seems like McGuinn like asks what song they want or people want him to do, and you hear some people kind of yelling Nashville West, and he's like, Clarence, you want to play that or something? So it's kind of cool. It's like they were taking requests or whatever. But they do Nashville West, and I think this is my favorite version of Nashville West. Just like they seem to play it like faster here, and it's just really cool. Then they do a version of Rollover Beethoven with some cool like 12-string stuff from McGuinn, and then they close out the concert with a cappella version of Amazing Grace, which sounds pretty good. Like this lineup wasn't really like known for their harmonies, but I think they sound really good on this. So yeah, Byrds live at the Royal Albert Hall, probably my favorite of the Byrds live albums that I have. Really, like I don't know, it's just kind of an interesting set list. It's got some really cool songs on it that I haven't heard live anywhere else. So if you're into this version of the band, and definitely if you're into Clarence White, like you need to check this out because like Clarence's guitar playing on this whole album is really cool. So definitely recommend this one.